In this video, we're going to be going over thesis statements and the homework you did on thesis statements. So what is a thesis statement? Generally, when a teacher asks you to point to your thesis or underline your thesis, that really means your thesis statement. We use the term thesis more commonly. But what is it? It's a sentence stating the overall point an argument is trying to make. It must not be pure opinion. Blue is the best color of all. How would you prove that? That's just pure opinion. Must not be pure fact. The sun rose this morning. You couldn't disprove that, so there's no argument to be made there. It should be a premise that is not self-evidently true, something that is going to require evidence to support. It must be arguable. In other words, you must be able to collect some evidence to support the position. And therefore, it has to be, I'm going to invent a word here, argue against a bull, meaning that somebody can come along and say, no, you're wrong, and argue against your position. Think of it as a promise to your reader, what your reader should be expecting based upon what your thesis says. But it's also one that limits the scope of your argument. If it's not covered by the scope of your thesis, it shouldn't be in your essay. How about this? If you say to your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're acting like a jerk today. Is that a thesis? Well, is it self-evidently true? Maybe to you, but maybe not to him or her. Could you present evidence in support of it? Oh, I bet you could. I bet you could think of a lot of things. Could someone argue against it? Yeah, I bet your boyfriend or girlfriend could argue against it and say, I don't think I'm acting like a jerk. So you're acting like a jerk today. That's a thesis. It's not self-evidently true. You would need evidence to support it, and certainly somebody could argue against it. How about this one? Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Is it self-evidently true? No. Other people would say he's not. Somebody else is. Could you present evidence in support of it? Absolutely. He's won more Super Bowls than any other quarterback. Could someone argue against it? Well, growing up as a 49ers fan, I happen to think Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback of all time. Hopefully now you have a clearer sense of what a thesis statement is. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. That's a thesis statement. So let's look at the homework you did. Number 1, by networking with friends, a single parent can manage to strike a balance among work, school, a social life, and family. Versus, single parents face many challenges as they try to juggle all of their responsibilities. Okay, let's look at B first. Single parents face many challenges as they try to juggle all of their responsibilities. Could you possibly say the opposite? Could you argue against that and say single parents don't face many challenges? I don't think so. All parents face challenges. Maybe single parents face some unique challenges. It'd be hard to disprove B. And really, it seems that B is just going to be creating a list. Go back to A. By networking with friends, a single parent can manage to strike a balance among work, school, a social life, and family. Could somebody argue against that? Sure. Somebody could say, no, you can't manage to strike a balance. You're going to have to choose, between these 4 things. Or maybe somebody would say, yes, you could strike a balance, but not by networking with friends, maybe by some other means. So 1A is a thesis, and it seems to be promising, well, how is it that the network of friends allows a balance between work, school, a social life, and family? Let's go to number 2. At the Special Olympics, disabled athletes are taught that with hard work and support from others, they can accomplish anything, that they can indeed be winners, versus working with the Special Olympics program is rewarding. Okay, I'm going to start with B again. Working with the Special Olympics program is rewarding. Could somebody argue against that working with the Special Olympics program is not rewarding? And I don't just mean personally, I mean just plain out not rewarding for anybody. I don't think so. I think working with the Special Olympics program is probably rewarding for at least some people. So it'd be hard to argue against B. Now let's go to A. At the Special Olympics, disabled athletes are taught that with hard work and support from others, they can accomplish anything, that they can indeed be winners. I guess somebody could argue against it and say, at the Special Olympics, disabled athletes are taught different things than hard work and support leads to accomplishment. Okay? Or maybe they're not taught that at all, you could argue. All right, so A certainly can be argued against, and it seems to be promising that, well, what is it about hard work and support from others that allows special Olympians to be winners? So 2A could be argued against. That makes it the thesis. B is not a thesis. Let's try number 3. History 201 taught by Professor Brown is offered at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays versus whoever said that history is nothing but polishing tombstones must have missed History 201 because in Professor Brown's class, history is very much alive. Well, 3A is just a fact. Either the course is offered at 10 a.m. Tuesday, Thursdays, or it's not. Nothing to be argued there. I mean, it's either true or it's not true. 3B, whoever said that history is nothing but polishing tombstones must have missed History 201 because in Professor Brown's class, history is very much alive. Well, I'm sure that perhaps in Professor Brown's long history, some people may have found him not very exciting. I think some people could argue that in Professor Brown's history class, things are not very much alive. So 3B is a thesis. It seems to be arguing or promising, well, what is it? What techniques does Professor Brown use to make history very much alive? Let's go to number 4. So far, research suggests that zero-emission vehicles are not a sensible solution to the problem of steadily increasing air pollution. Versus, because air pollution is of serious concern to many people today, several U.S. government agencies have implemented plans to begin solving the problem. This one's a little bit trickier. Let's go to 4A first. So far, research suggests that zero-emission vehicles are not a sensible solution to air pollution problems. Well, I think some people would argue no, that they are a sensible solution to air pollution problems. So this is definitely argue against a bull. And I suppose the author of this thesis would explain why it is that zero-emission vehicles are not a very sensible solution to air pollution. Maybe they're too expensive. People can't afford them. So they're not a sensible solution. Too few people are driving them. Let's go to B. Because air pollution is of serious concern to many people today, several U.S. government agencies have implemented plans to begin solving the problem. Well, that's either true or it isn't, right? That U.S. government agencies have implemented plans. Either they have or they haven't. It's either not arguable or it's not argue against the poll. Now, if you added one word, effective plans, now we have a thesis because somebody could say, oh yeah, they've implemented plans, but they are not effective plans. So 4B essentially is promising to be a list. What are the government agencies and what are the plans? It's not really an argument. 4A is the right answer. Let's go to number 5. Anorexia nervosa is a dangerous and sometimes deadly eating disorder occurring mainly in young upper middle class teenagers. Versus the eating disorder anorexia nervosa is rarely cured by one treatment alone. Only by combining drug therapy with psychotherapy and family therapy can the patient begin the long, torturous journey to wellness. Well, the first sentence, 5A, is just a definition that either is what anorexia nervosa is or it's not. 5B, the eating disorder anorexia nervosa is rarely cured by one treatment alone. Only by combining these 3 different types of therapy can people get better. That's an argument because somebody could come along and say, no, any one of these treatments alone can be successful. What does 5B seem to be promising? Well, I suppose maybe why psychotherapy and family therapy and drug therapy, why together each one isn't very successful, but somehow when you combine the 3, you can get success. Okay, that's all for thesis statements for now. Thank you for watching and take care.